And with fabulous thing done for you by The Waits, I welcome you to the Sunday Fun Day show right here on your award-winning dial Crown 89.9 FM. The Sunday, the night of February 2020. Godsparkable is my name, and I'm sorry if my voice isn't as sweet and sonorous as that of Amani Koro. But I happen to be covering for her today because she will be off for other duties, all right? And so we're going to have a great time together either way, because right here on Crown 89.9 FM, if it ain't worth giving out, we don't give it out. And so this is a segment where you get to actually unlearn and relearn, because the thing is, in life never stops teaching, and that's the reason why we must never stop learning. There's certain things we've been doing in certain ways for quite a long period of time doesn't make that method the correct one. We need to keep asking ourselves the question, are there better ways we can do what we do currently? And for today, the song already lets the cat out of the bag. We're talking family. We're talking about marriage. And marriage as it concerns finances. Well, we'll talk about money. And so, in the studio today, I'm being joined by, at this point in time, I feel if I want to choose, there will be no better person for me to choose to talk about such matters, because he is in the financial sector, and he's also a married man and a father, a public speaker, of course, a counselor. I am here to introduce to you Pastor Mike Wangwa, an awesome author, a husband, a father, a public speaker, a counselor, like I've rightly said. He's got several books, and his recent books actually make me say, no, this man must be the one to come in here today to talk to us about marriage and finances. His last book was launched on the 1st of December 2019, and it was titled, If Your Marriage Is Not Working, Work Your Marriage. And if you remember very well, during my marriage anniversary on the 3rd of December, I gave out about 5 copies or thereabout of that particular book, and there's been testimonies, so who'd better to speak on this than Pastor Mike himself, and he's in the building. You're welcome, sir.
Oh, GPK, thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, listeners. I'm pleased and thrilled to be here today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir, and we are glad to have you on the show. All right, so let's get right down to business. Having given the introduction, marriage or family, and then finances. We know it's been a recurrent decimal. People having issues in their homes, not because they don't love themselves, but there's something that money just causes. Even among friends, even among husband and wife, when money matters come up, it's always a dicey one to actually handle. So let's start from what should be the ideal, first of all, a background, a foundation to this.
Okay, so let's do a foundation. The question is, who should be the major contributor to family finance?
Yeah.
Should it be the man or the woman? Then we'll also be looking at issues of financial responsibility. If the man is to be responsible for finances, what should be the woman's role? How responsible should she be? Okay, to make this easy, let me just give you a background. I'll tell you what happened. I was sharing with GPK just before we came on air. When I joined the training school, they were trying to teach us about confidentiality in banking. So they gave us this story. A woman and the husband, they had a child who was sick. Along the line, they had financial issues. The man couldn't cope, and then they started looking for money all over the place. The woman went to the man everywhere. They tried to borrow money. They couldn't get. Eventually, the child died. So one day, the woman was not home. Then this dispatch rider from the bank came to the house, gave the man a statement of accounts now it was for the woman, but she wasn't around, of course. So he convinced the dispatch rider to drop the statement. So the man just opened the statement. Of course, the woman did not have money. When he opened the statement of account, oh my goodness, there was so much money in the woman's account, even at that time when they were looking for funds. And the man told himself, said, no, this woman must leave the house. It was a big problem. Eventually, the woman said she was going to slam the bank with a lawsuit, only on the condition that they should follow her and become marriage counselors. So the bank officials became, marriage counselors. So that's one story. It's extreme. I might want to stone the woman and condemn her, but wait till you hear this one. I was in a church where a pastor was preaching, and then he said, women should submit their salaries to their husbands, ATM cards and all that. And then all the women in the church started laughing. I could interpret their laughter. I felt embarrassed. It's because they liked the pastor. They have just told the pastor, I beg, leave that story, that kind of a thing. So it cuts both ways. We have women who have let down trust, who are responsible. We have men who are also responsible. But we're trying to bring it home today. We're trying to relate. We're trying to discuss. We're trying to hear views. How should finances in the family be handled? Do you believe in a joint account, for instance? How open do you think you should be with your husband or with your wife? Can you give your husband your ATM pin? Can you give your wife your ATM card and all that? So people have all sorts of beliefs, and then we'll be dealing with that today, basically, GBK.
Okay. All right. So very quickly, let me head on to our first point, which is financial management and responsibility. Now, I was saying to you off air that before I got married, my wife actually told me while we were discussing that she isn't the type of person who believes that a woman's money is the family money. And so she believes that the man ought to do the provision, and that probably is informed by where she's coming from. Maybe her parents and her own family, or what she's observed. And for me, I listened to the statement and felt, I'm okay by that.
Right.
I mean, God has made the man the head of the home and is supposed to take responsibility for things. After all, if you can do that, then why would you want to decide to get married? I mean, you must be able to take care of things. So we head on, by that. So let's really understand, in a marriage, what is the ideal? Who is supposed to be, the one who would I say major contributor? What's supposed to be the game plan when it comes to financial management as regards responsibility and contribution?
Okay, so we believe the man is the head of the home, right? And the man should give everything for the success of his home. In fact, there's a scripture that says, if a man will not take care of his household, he's worse than an infidel. Shouldn't take care of his home. Okay. But in reality, in practicability, when you come together to get married, it's actually a partnership. Imagine that you own a stake in a company, and then somebody has higher stakes than you, and then because you have lower stakes, you relax and let the company, just run down. I mean, who is going to suffer eventually? You're going to sink with the ship. So if you're entering into a partnership with a man, I don't believe that one person should wait for the other person to take care of everything. Yes, the man is the head of the home and he should take responsibility. I think the woman should also, help out where necessary. Not like it is her own responsibility, you get it now, but she should. Because your kids are thrown out of school, the man doesn't have money and you have money. So what will you be saying? You say, your money is our money, my money is my money, and then the family suffers? I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Now, so for people who have concerns with, I have agreed to support my husband, but he is not really showing enough financial responsibility to justify my supporting them. So if I keep doing this, then he keeps enjoying his way. For instance, a man who receives a certain amount of salary and decides to spend most of that maybe on friends that he likes or some other, unethical habits like drinking and all of that. And then the woman who decides that to say, okay, because we're in a partnership, let me support with what I have. I mean, how long can she actually sustain that? For somebody in such a situation, what should be the ideal?
Well, I think people should be treated based on how they act. And I'll give this example. I had a friend. He was in GSS 3 or so. He wanted to write his exam. So he went to work in a cotton plantation. Saved up some money, and then, wanted to pay his fees. Gave it to his father to keep for him, pending when he was going to pay the fees. The man took the money and went to drink. The guy squandered the money on drink. Now, imagine if you were a child in that home or a wife in that home. Will you want to do that again, knowing that this man has a problem? You wouldn't want to do that, because he's going to mortgage your whole future over a bottle of drink. So I think that, yes, the woman should support, but if a man is irresponsible, then I think she should determine how much of her funds she gives to him. Instead, she might want to do those things herself. If it's the children's school fees, and the guy will squander, you go pay the children's school fees. If you need to buy some things in the house, you go buy them, rather than give the man money, because we know some people actually have problems handling money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. All right. Well, we're not just talking alone on this one, all right? If you've got something to say, you've got a contribution, you've got a question to ask, you can be part of this conversation by dialing the number 081 0899 0899. You're part of the family this afternoon, and we're talking about family and in relation to finance. So if you got something to say, contribution or a question for Pastor Mike Wangwa right here in the studio, you can simply dial 081 0899 0899. It's breaking the norm. We've got a question very quickly from a caller. Let's take this one before we head on to the next point. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. To you.
My name is Anointing.
Your name?
Anointing.
Anointing.
Yes.
A powerful name. All right, go ahead. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from Jedu.
Jedu. All right, Anointing. Go ahead with your question or contribution.
A responsible man is supposed to give his wife his ATM card because you trust your wife, because both of you are one.
Okay.
You can give her your PIN and tell her what she should do. Depends on the woman you married. And if you don't know her in total, you don't give her your ATM PIN. But if you know her very well as your wife, you can, both of you can be one. She can even give you her own ATM. There's nothing wrong because it's one family. Except the man is still responsible, maybe drunkard, all those type of things, and then the woman will just laugh over that thing. Those women that were laughing, the pastor who was preaching, telling their wives to submit their ATM to their husband, they understand their husband. That is why they were laughing the pastor.
Exactly.
So that's my contribution.
All right.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anointing, for that anointed one there. All right, Mr. Anointing, I observed something in what he said.
Okay.
So the woman is to share, or the man is to share, on the condition that you know
that the person is responsible. Yeah.
But then that some people will come up with this ideology that love should be unconditional, just like God loves us. In fact, God instructs that the man should love the wife the way Christ loved the church. But then I don't think there was any form of financial mismanagement, even with Christ when he was on earth.
Of course
the tax collector Matthew, I don't think he spent money anyhow.
Yeah.
So when people are trying to draw those kind of opinion, I think they should also be very relative to the situation on ground.
Yeah, sometimes it's one-sided because they say the woman should submit, okay? Just like the church submits to Christ. But they forget that the man should love the wife unconditionally. Meaning that, Christ loved us to the point that he gave himself for us. So you should be able to give your ATM PIN now and since you want to be like Christ.
But when you not give ATM card and the next 20 minutes you are saying alert from so hair company 150,000 8 inches. What happened to normal weaver?
Seriously, that's why we believe that before you get married to somebody, you should know who you want to get married to. You should have reasons why you we don't just get married for the fun of it. Marriage is partnership. Marriage is business. So before you get married, you should discuss these things. Just like we were saying about your wife. You people talked about it.
Yeah.
Most people don't talk about these things before they get married. That's why it's a problem. Because when you talk with the person, you have an idea of how the person reasons. What are the person's views? How did the person's parents act when the person was there? In some parts of, some areas here, we find women who go and do manual labor, carry concrete and all that. The husbands are sitting down, squandering the money, drinking ogogoro, tying wrapper on their waist and all that.
True.
So, children grow up in this environment. And so, such children will think this is the normal way life should be. The woman should slave for me, whereas I'm the king, Lion King. I sit down with ogogoro and chewing stick and just squander everything she brings. So, there are a whole lot of things. But just like you said, we need to learn, unlearn, we need to relearn. Listen to people, learn new things, okay? Learn new cultures, travel, expose your mind so that things can work out right.
I like the part where you said discussion, because at the end of the day, when you discuss, you come to a common ground. Like I and my wife had that conversation, and I accepted and understood her own perspective. Okay, a woman's money should be the woman's money, and if she has to spend, it should be at her own will. And it was based on that. But today, I can testify to you that, when she sees that, okay, my own part has been used for this and this and this, nobody they tell her. Only they use your own, say they settle the rest. You get, but this was the same person who said, I don't believe my money is your money, and I agreed. But then, life is relative. You may agree on certain things at this point in time, but things may change, situations may change.
That's true.
That could make you actually change your decision.
That's true.
Okay, now I think we should also talk about this part of family influence that you mentioned, about people growing up in a certain way and have seen certain patterns and are following, in such patterns. What would be your own point of caution or counsel for someone who has come from a particular background and now is trying to take decisions based on that? For instance, a woman whose mother was mistreated financially, the father didn't take care of the mom. For such a woman now wants to decide that, my own, I will not let that thing happen to me. What could be a guide, in such a situation?
Okay, I think sometimes in our attempt to run away from something, we end up at the extreme. Our fear drives us to insanity sometimes, and we make a lot of blunders, we make mistakes. I think strongly that every marriage is different, it's unique. So some things might work for you, GPK, they might not work for me. So I wouldn't recommend one way to say, okay, you must do it like this. Some people might submit their ATM cards to their husbands and it will work for them. But if some other people do it, it will be disaster. So you need to understand the person you are getting married, just like Anointing said. Understand who you are getting married, to understand each other, then you know what works. For some people, you know that the man is a better handler of financial resources, so leave him, let him handle. For some people, you know the woman is a better handler of resources, you let her handle them. So, but I think that don't let your background determine the course you take in life. You want things to work out. Yes, my father maltreated my mother or did not treat her right financially. He crippled her financially. She was at his mercy. So I should make things right in my own marriage. I don't want to get married to a woman who is like my slave. I enslave her financially. So if she doesn't see me, she cannot buy Maggi or bread and all those things. No, I should make sure that I walk out of that. The same thing, a woman may have seen her mother mistreated, and so she vows and said, that secret account, I will get them just in case. So she begins to store up money because she doesn't want what happened to her mother to happen to her. So please, in our fears, let's be cautious. Let our fears not drive us to something else, to the extreme. Because love begets love. You give love, you get love. So please, that's my thought.
This is a very wise one. Because certain persons look at people's marriage and feel like it's a sample for them to follow.
Yeah.
But then you just open their eyes to see that every marriage is unique.
Of course.
And you need to do you and not. This is powerful. I hope you join in this. You can also join the conversation by dialing number 081-0899-0899, or you can drop your comments on the comment section of our Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook platforms. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please, can you turn down the volume of your radio set?
Okay, I've moved away from there.
Better, thank you. Your name and location, ma?
Okay, this is Mrs. Beauty from Oruworu.
Go ahead with your contribution or question.
Okay, please. As regards the topic of grams, some couples, I'll take mine for example. A situation whereby you as the woman, you are the one financing the house. And the man also, he's supposed to take charge of his responsibility. For the fact that you, the wife, you are doing it, he just feel relaxed. Even when he has, he doesn't support. That, to me, that's not fair. And secondly, if he even have the money to finance, instead of him to ask what is the problem of grant so that he can support, he will use it to go outside and mingle with friends, womanize. That one to me is also a bad thing. So what I would suggest is that if couples that find themselves in that situation, they should try to talk things over. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Talk things over was the last statement. How do you respond to this, sir?
Well, I will speak to the men. If you're a man out there, please sit up. God has placed you. You're not a man for nothing. You are a man because you should be responsible. You get married to a woman, bring somebody's daughter from her father's house, and then you treat her wrongly. It's not okay. You wouldn't want your daughter to be treated that way. So if you are blessed with a woman who helps and supports in the home, I want you to appreciate her always. Know that this is not the norm. You should be doing all that. She's supporting, she has a heart, she gives you everything. Then you shouldn't squander. You shouldn't be a squanderer of resources. The little you have, you manage it. At least encourage her and then do something by all means. Like somebody told me, whatever you need to do just to make sure your family, stays afloat. Just to make sure you feed them and you take care of them. So support the woman. The woman goes out, she's all strained, carrying the burden of the family. The woman was not structured that way. And that's why they get, edgy. And then tomorrow you say the woman is insulting you or she doesn't respect. Which kind of respect do you want? Again, when you squander the money and you don't provide anything for the home. So talk things over, just like she said. I think it's important. And then if the man has people he respects or regards, please get them to intervene and speak with them.
Wow, it's a powerful session right here on Breaking the Norm with our resource person, Pastor Mike Wangwa, who's a husband, a father, an author of several books, including If Your Marriage Is Not Working, Work You're Married, recently dropped, and of course a public speaker and a counselor. At this point in time, I'll say many thanks for actually stopping by to share these bits of wisdom with us. The show is not over. We're heading for a short commercial break. When we come back, of course, I'll be reading out comments from our social media platforms. So if you haven't gone there to drop yours, simply head on to @Crown89FM, Twitter and Instagram. Follow us and then you see the post there. Of course, on Facebook, it's Facebook.com/, that's Crown89FM. Drop your comments so that we can respond to it or take your contributions. Of course, the phone line to dial when we come back from the break is still 081-0899-0899. I'm God Spark. I'll be sitting in for Monikoro on Breaking the Norm. Don't go anywhere.
Crown 89.9 FM.
When would you bless me?
Yes, we're talking family on Breaking the Norm today. Sunday, the 9th of February, 2020, on the Sunday Fun Day. With God Spark, I'll be sitting in for Omo Nikoro. Time now is 3:42, and we're still here live on Crown 89.9 FM with our guest who's been dishing out a lot of wisdom this evening. I'm talking about Pastor Mike Wangwa, a husband, a father, author of several books, a public speaker, and a counselor. On the background for you is Jackson Family, doing for you family, and it's family we're actually talking about today, but in respect to family finance. And so, welcome back officially. Like I said, we're here, and of course, you can also join the conversation we've been having by dialing the number 081-0899-0899, or you can head on to our social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter, same account at Crown89FM. That's the handle. Follow us, and then you have the opportunity to drop your comment there. Facebook is Facebook.com/ as Crown899FM. All right, Pastor Mike, let's get on now to practical tips on family finance. What steps can a family take to ensure that we don't have this financial crisis or quarrels or squabbles that we usually have?
All right, I think the first thing is openness. Okay, you said something about discussing with your wife before you got married.
True. Yeah.
So openness before marriage, before the wedding now, and then openness even during the marriage. I think some women have an exaggerated idea of how much their husbands really have. So sometimes you need to come out and let her know. She probably thinks you earn 1 million naira because men have been told that they shouldn't tell a woman, disclose how much, but it can now go against you because the woman might think you have much more than you actually have. So she keeps making those demands. So openness is very important. If she knows that you earn 150,000 naira, for instance, and by the 6th of February, you've already spent 140,000 naira. She knows that you people have 10,000 naira to live on for the rest of the month. So it might actually determine how she begins. She will begin to reason with you and she won't place those unnecessary demands. So openness is important on both sides, for the man, for the woman. So when you're open with each other, it takes care of a whole lot of issues. So I already know this is how much you have and this is how much I have, and it helps. So we can now come together, put our resources together, and then forge our way ahead.
Oh, I think that's amazing. I heard about this couple some time back. The woman wasn't that educated.
Okay.
The man was educated. So he had some things written down and all of that. And so anytime the woman tried to say, okay, I want to go to this private home school, And then the man keeps saying, so that you go feed they read my document and know how much I get. You know, at the end of the day, the man died.
Oh.
And then when the kids grew up, they discovered some of their father's documents, saying how he tried to apply to get a land in the old Bendel, you know, that time. So it means that if he applied to get a land, he could have actually got those lands. But with the wife not in the know of these things, that's openness you're talking about. There was no way they could have recovered all those assets. So things just got lost like that because the man died. And he didn't tell anybody about it. I think it's a very powerful point you've actually raised when it comes to openness here.
Yeah, you need to be open. Then don't see the woman as a threat. You know, a lot of men, they stifle their wives' progress. They keep them under because they are scared. They are insecure. They feel that if the woman has small money, she will not respect him anymore. You know, the man wants to be in charge. But I want to challenge every man out there today. Please, give your wife wings to fly. Give your wife wings to fly. If she's happy, if she has money, if she's able to run things and have some sort of empowerment, she'll make life easy for you. She'll not come back and give you heat at home. So please give your wife wings to fly. So that's still part of the financial steps we are talking about. If that man had exposed his wife, what happened there wouldn't have happened.
True.
So we've talked about openness, very important. We've talked about giving your wife wings to fly. That helps your finances. And then appreciate her. Appreciate your wife. You know, somebody just sent us a message while we're on break that she wants to be appreciated. You do so much for the man, you put in your funds and all that, and then he doesn't appreciate you. He just tells you that you should know that I appreciate it. She says no, it's hurting her. So I'm telling the husband, if he's listening now, it's hurting her. Please tell her you appreciate those things that she does. Then we could also budget together as a family. You know, plan. Do your budget. At the beginning of this year, I took my wife out somewhere, just both of us, and we started planning for the year. We determined the things we wanted to do, and you know, once you have done that, it makes life easy. You know how much is coming in. You know that these funds are allotted to something, and then your life becomes easy. Your life is on a planned plane. It's not like you're just moving carelessly. Then learn to save. Sometimes you may have extra money coming in as a couple. Maybe you were promoted and then you suddenly have a windfall, a large amount of money. You were existing, you were surviving on what you were earning before. So don't be in a hurry to go and buy the latest car. Don't be in a hurry to go and buy new gadgets and all that. You can save that money up for a project. Invest in a business together. But in all, make sure that as a couple, you're not just married for the sake of being married. We must manage our finances. Because aside ourselves, we have people to help. We have things to do. We have projects to do all over the place. We need to make life easier for other people. And we can only do that when we are financially sufficient on our own. So those are some tips, GPK.
Okay. All right. Like I said, you can join the conversation. You can ask a question to directed to Pastor Mike Wangwa here. And of course, you can also do your contribution by dialing the number 081-0899-0899. We've got a caller waiting. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
All right. Your name and location, please.
Okay, my name is Praise from Kopako.
All right. Go ahead, Praise.
I want to start by appreciating the pastor so much for all what he has said. And I say God bless you so much.
Thank you, Praise. God bless you too.
My plight is, what if in a scenario where you're married to your husband, you have kids together, you stayed in that marriage for close to 10 years, and then this man acquires properties, he puts the properties in his name as if he's a bachelor, and then takes all the papers to the mother. It's not as if you have quarrels, you don't have anything, you're living together in unity. So and then you see that if you want to bring up the issue, you look at this, it's like this woman eyes in my properties. And then he's your husband. I don't know how to talk about that. Then, not appreciating your family. You in a scenario where you come across, your husband come across your mother or your father, he just greets them normally and then pass. Not even, mommy, just take a little seat for transportation or something. No. But he takes care of his family. He's up and doing for the parents, for the siblings. But when it comes to yours, there's always excuse. I don't really know how to put that into play and how to handle such issues.
All right.
All right, Praise.
Praise, thank you very much for your questions.
Involved in all the family affairs when it comes, no matter how little you contribute. And then you talked about knowing the financial status of your husband. You guys are open. You know what he earns. You know what you earn. It's not as if it's been hidden. So,
all right, Praise.
that's my own challenge.
All right, I'm sure you get a response now from Pastor Mike.
All right, thank you.
All right, Praise. Well, I'm sorry things are this way, but I know things will get better. You know, I want to encourage every man and speak to you. You know, you are the father of the home. You're the head of the home. I don't support a man going to get property in his name alone. And then from what she said, the man takes the papers and gives to the mother. That means your mother is still running the home now. You know, the Bible says a man will leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and they are one flesh. You know, so I want to encourage every man. I took it up with somebody recently. He did that. And I said, no, you don't do things like that. In fact, he was talking about financial management. He did something, made a financial decision. Okay, and his wife didn't know about it. And I said, no. He said, Abraham took Isaac, you know, and he didn't tell, you know. I now told him that it's because he came back with Isaac. He would have no trouble if he came back without that child. You understand? So you don't take those major financial decisions without your wife. She's your partner, for goodness sake. Why is it that when things go bad, you expect her to be with you and suffer with you? But now when it comes to making financial decisions, you throw her away. So I feel for every woman who is going through that way. Keep praying. Like I said, if there are people he respects, talk to them so that they can wade into the matter and then resolve it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Another caller coming in here. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir.
Yeah, my name is Solomon.
Right.
All right, Solomon, go ahead, Solomon,
welcome,
with
Solomon.
you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the problem with some men is I don't know how to pull it. Okay, I want to ask that lady who just spoke last. If I ask the man, when the papa built house, he give the documents to his papa, to his mama. You see, it is wrong. Like what the resource person just said just now. Both the husband and wife, they are partners. Okay, we don't pray for bad things. What if the man dies tomorrow? The woman will be in limbo. Then you throw the children from the house. It is not really ideal. Marriage is a concept between two people, husband and wife. I don't see any reason why the mother or the father should come into their business. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
sir.
Solomon, for that wise one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know, this thing keeps bugging people every day. But you know, they say if you keep doing something the same way, you don't expect a different result.
Course.
You want to do things the way your parents did it, you're not going to get a different result. You're going to get their own kind of result. But like you said earlier, every marriage is unique, and everybody needs to actually understand that. We've got another caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening to you, madam.
Yeah. My name is Ifeinwa. I'm calling from Benue State.
All right,
Good
welcome.
evening.
Go ahead.
I have a situation. I have a friend. She's a graduate, and her husband is doing well. And the husband told the wife not to work, not to do anything. That is ready to be providing for the family, is ready to be doing everything for the family. And at last, when the children started growing up, you know, responsibilities, you know, all that thing started setting in. And the man now is pushing the woman to go and get a job to come and support the family. Now, this woman, she has stayed in her home over 15 years without doing anything. And sometimes when she wants to do something, the man will come and, you know, push her. You don't do this. She went to learn a trade. The man stopped her. She went to learn a fashion designing. The man stopped her. Now, the man is not pushing her after she has stayed in the house for over 15 years. Now, because things are expensive out there, his salary can no longer meet the family's needs. Now, it's not pushing the woman. Now, my question here is this. Where does it think, or how does it think this woman will be able to get a job somewhere or get something doing and come and be supporting the family. Now, this man that has been telling this woman not to do anything, do you think tomorrow now, if this woman decides to be doing something, we will trust the man enough to now be giving him his ATM card or whatever, opening up to him? This is somebody that this man has deprived so many things. The man cannot even care for the woman's family. But still, he's still pushing the woman to go and look for something. Even if it's 100 now they are paying you, I don't care, but come and be supporting because the load is not getting too heavy for him to pay.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm sure Pastor Mike will respond to that now.
I think a lot of men probably do it with good intentions. They don't want the woman, either they don't want to burden the woman or they feel if the woman puts in money, she wouldn't respect him or something. So when the going is good, usually the men prefer that maybe the woman should just not work. Like my mom, she resigned her job because we had to go to a different town. She wanted to keep the marriage good, and then she resigned, and then she was not working. But along the line things got difficult, and then she had to work, do business. But the sad part is that the point when they start trying to do that business, it's not easy. Because how long it takes to get settled in business. It might take a while. Like this case now, it might take a while for the woman. She has not done anything for like 15 years according to her.
Her certificate will not even be relevant anymore, even if she's a graduate.
What skill do you want to practice? So I encourage every man, please. I said this earlier, give your wife wings to fly. Let her explore. Let her be herself. She went to school and read some. For goodness sake, things are changing. Allow her to live well, to expose herself. Allow her to work if she wants to. All right. It's not just about the money, but it's about relevance. She wants to bring something to the table. Please let her be.
Okay. All right. We got the last call for the day. The last one.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Please, I called earlier on.
Okay.
This is from Morugoro.
Okay.
Please, I have this challenge. You see, a situation whereby you, the wife, you are supporting the home and the man is not supporting. But at the end of the day, you happen to have a little issue. The next thing, he packs everything he has in the house, both the landed property documents and every other of his belongings, and takes them to his brother's house and drop them there. Then there was a time he was looking for one of the documents. He came to ask me. I said, I don't know where you kept it. You took it to your brother's. Till date, as I'm talking to you, he has not returned those documents back to the house. And apart from that, each time we have issues, we always be insulting my parents and all. How do you see to that issue? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I think that is not mature. A man shouldn't do that. The issue now is financial responsibility, like we are saying. Those documents you said, they were in the name of the man and the wife. So I don't think anybody should take everything and go and dump somewhere else. If you're responsible, if you love each other and you're really open with each other, all these things will not come up. That's what I believe. Okay, so I think we all should show maturity in marriage. There are issues. The issue was not related to the land document. Issue was not related to the other thing. So let's deal with issues. Don't just say because we have a slight disagreement and you go and start burning clothes, taking papers, throwing money, and I think that is immature. All right?
Okay, like I said, that was the last call, and this is where we'll call it a day on today's segment of Breaking the Norm. Of course, you can catch up another hot segment next week, Sunday. Hopefully, Omo may be around by then. Once again, many thanks to you, Pastor Mike, for actually stopping by.
Thank you. I've enjoyed myself.
Pastor Mike,
so much.
I'm sure you've got a lot more to offer to the people, but of course, radio time is limited. So for someone who wants to contact you or have continuous conversation with you, this is the time for you to please drop your contacts and, of course, social media handles so people can follow.
You can reach me on 0809 733 8615. 0809 733 8615. Or 0806058 7150. 0806058 7150. You can also follow me on social media, Michael Wangwa, or my fan page, Mike O Wangwa. And from Thursday, Valentine's Day, you can reach me on mikewangwa.org. So that's it.
mikewangwa.org. All right. Thank you very much. And I'm sure your book, If Your Marriage Is Not Working, Work your marriage will do a whole lot to answer so many questions, even without getting to you. Because I've seen that, and I think it's an amazing content. So once again, thank you very much for taking our time.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you, and God bless Crown FM.
Thank you, sir.